Hello, everybody, and welcome back to our podcast,
Mom
and Son
Podcast.
So, if you're new, hello, and this is our 9th episode. And
if you are a seasoned listener, thank you so much for coming back again and again and supporting us, listening to what we have to say, share, and supporting us. So, Thank you, both new and seasoned listener.
So, what are we going to talk about today?
You're going back to school next week, aren't you, Manav?
Yay! Like exactly next week from the day we're recording.
So we're going back to school. Most of the schools in Australia
probably already started.
They have, and depending on which state you are in, the school starts pretty much this week, everywhere between this and next week.
Yes.
So what I thought was, because we all are going back to school and some of kindies, it will be their new school experience altogether. There will be children who will be moving from one school to another school. So there will be new children as well. And there will be your old existing friends too. I don't know how much in depth we can talk about this topic today, Manav, because I know you are still too young to understand about this concept, but I am quite comfortable to share and talk about this topic with you because we've already discussed this at home. It's about this topic pretty much every day. So I'm comfortable that we will enjoy talking about this topic as well as we will add value to our listeners. So it is about neurodiversity and it is about being different. Not only neurodiversity, we are different in different ways. You know,
Yeah.
some kids are small,
big, short, tall, young, old.
Yeah, like, you know, in your class you will see different color, different culture, different food. So we all are different. So we want to discuss about diversity in general. It can be a neurodiversity. We'll touch base on
Normal diversity?
the cultural diversity. Basically, how do you pronounce diversity?
Yeah, diversity. That's how I say it.
Yeah, diversity. So we are basically talking around diversity, and neurodiversity is something that we want to stress on because you have learned a lot about this term at your school also. What do you feel about it? Is it too heavy? Is it too big?
No, it's good. Yeah, it's really good.
It's good?
Yeah, and neurodiversity is really, like, when you were starting to talk about it, then I realized, oh, it was neurodiversity. When I realized what you were talking about before you even said it was about neurodiversity. So I had something up, like I had something I was going to say, and that's what I'm going to say now. Because, like, people at school, it's nice if you can recognize, maybe this episode will help you recognize more people at school, recognize like how they act, maybe you could guess. Yeah, like maybe you can guess, but don't ask because they might like to keep it a secret, but maybe you can guess. So, yeah.
And also when, if we have recognized difference in their behavior or how they talk or how they act or how they even, feel about certain things, the idea is to give them space, not judge. And if you're not sure about what's going on with your friend, feel free to speak with your teacher, with your family, but don't laugh at your friends, don't bully your friends.
They might be embarrassed, and if you bully them, you're their friend, so they might not want to be your friend anymore. And if you're their only friend and you bully them, they'll just be lonely.
So again, this is a very big topic. We don't want to go in a lot of depth. but we just want to touch base, and especially parents, if you're listening to this, this is for all of us parents. We are sending our children to school, and it is our responsibility to prepare our kids to be aware about diversity in their classroom, in their play area, in their school, everywhere they go. So I personally take a personal responsibility to teach my child about being respectful to everybody, despite of their different ability, race, culture, gender. So this is as a parent to parent, this is something that I really want to share. If we are consciously careful and take that time to educate our child at home. There are a lot of families and a lot of children going through challenges. So as a community, we can help each other by being kind. So I really wanted to stress this out in this particular episode, because we are going back to school, and
next week.
there will be big emotions. So kids are already in stressful situation. So if we can teach our children to be kind with each other, then we are creating a very beautiful community for them to thrive.
And maybe your children already know a bit about it. I remember my teacher telling us about neurodiversity, and she read us this book, and I even got a book about diversity, and it even had neurodiversity, and it really explained neurodiversity about it. Yes, like all of diversity, everything from diversity, what makes us so diverse. Diverse means different. So everything that makes us so different and diverse, lots of stuff is like in the book. Like if we were all the same, everything was the same, we lived in the same house, we had the same family, we wore the same clothes, we loved the same color, everything would be boring. But we're in a diverse world, and most of us may have the same thing, but we're all different, wherever.
So that's something I wanted to talk about, because growing up, we did not have this concept, and also we grew up in one country where there were people from that country only. But now here the world has become a melting pot of different people, different cultures. So we live in a very different world. The world I grew up and your father grew up, or lots of parents grew up who are listening, that world has become a different world. Changed. So we are in a very different world. We need to adapt, learn. I guess, I'm going back to the word kind. We need to be kind. We need to learn how to be kind with each other and really give that space for everyone to grow and thrive. Manav, I know you have read a lot of books about neurodiversity, because your teachers, they really endorse that learning. Can you share to our audience or listener the examples?
So there's one, and while I was researching, like throughout the times, watching videos about neurodiversity, in every video, this one word came up, ADHD. I forgot what it stands for because it's like really long, like all the words. I don't even remember a single word.
I think ADHD will do.
Yeah, that's what everybody calls it.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's the most common one. Maybe not. Or it's just used in the videos I watched or in the research. But yeah, because like ADHD is like you always drift off. When you need to concentrate, you always like need to move around and you just drift off. And then there's autism. I might go on to autism later, but for now
So autism is, I think they call it autism spectrum disorder, ASD.
Oh, yeah.
There is a new term. I don't know. It's fairly new. I'm also not entirely sure about it. So if I'm wrong, please let me know in the comment below what is right. But from my knowledge, they don't call it autism anymore. They call it autism spectrum disorder
or ASD.
ASD, because there is a spectrum where people fall. They can be on any side of spectrum. Even ADHD is a spectrum disorder where anybody could fall on anywhere of that spectrum. You understand what spectrum is, Manav?
I think, and I think...
What do you understand when I say spectrum?
I don't really understand much about spectrum.
Yeah, so it means, I was gonna explain this to everybody. It means, say, if we have 1 to 100, it ranges. Someone can
fall in
between 1 to 100 anywhere. That's a spectrum. Yeah.
And also there's like in ADHD, while I was doing my research, ADHD I think has 3 forms. There's, I forgot the name of 2, but
that's an interesting research. What kind of research is that? Oh, I did research and I forgot too. Okay, moving on.
One of them is called the combination type, and it's basically the type of 2 other types of ADHD.
Okay.
So like it's those 2 types combined into one type, like a combination.
Yeah.
It's a
That's why I didn't want to go in depth, because one, we don't have a lot of knowledge. We only have a surface knowledge on this topic, and that's why I only wanted to touch base on the names to start with, because if we are aware of the terms, then when we hear about these terms, we know, oh yeah, so and so might be on spectrum, ADHD spectrum or autism spectrum. We know what to expect from them. Again, when I say we're not putting them in a box, so we're not expecting things. I'll take my word back. We can't expect things from certain type of people. That's wrong. But if we are aware, we can see why somebody does what. So if somebody does something, and if they are on spectrum, then we know, oh yeah, this is because of this. So we won't be thinking, oh, that looks weird, oh, that looks silly, oh, what's wrong with that guy? That guy does not sit still. So we just want to be aware of the terminology. We just want to be aware that there are different people than us, and it's okay. We might find it weird to start with, but there is a reason why some people are different. So that's the whole concept. And I really appreciate you going above and beyond and willing to research, Manav. Thank you so much, because by doing so, you probably didn't know how to share that now, but by doing that research, you increased your awareness. You will be able to talk about that with your friends now in school. If you notice something about somebody and somebody is teasing your friend, or they are laughing, you can stand up for your friend and say, hey guys, we can't do this, he might have this.
Like, please stop bullying him, stop doing that. By the way he acts, he must have this, I know it.
You can't know it, Manav. You are not a doctor.
At least I can guess.
Yeah. So again, going back to, we're not judging, we're not confirming anything for anybody. We are just being aware, and we're just giving everybody equal space and respect, because everybody deserves respect despite of their diversity, neurodiversity, cultural diversity, gender diversity, any diversity. Everybody deserves equal respect, love, and space. So that's the whole thing. Let's be aware. How about that? Yeah. And one person can can make a difference. So if you have done your research and you are aware, you can stand up for your friend when in need and educate other kids when time comes, and that will flow. So it doesn't matter if you are the only one who is researching from your class, you can pass the information. But I know all the kids are very smart kids. They'll do the right thing. Yeah.
Also, I have 2 more types of neurodiversity left.
What?
One.
Oh, sorry, your research. I interrupted. Oh, goodness me. Thank you. Yeah.
One is dysgraphia, and it's like where you're very observant, but you can't write. You can't write well. There's another type of neurodiversity. It's the next one that's that's a bit like this, but it's way different.
Okay.
So
is it dyslexia? Sorry, Manav, I could not hold.
Yes.
I stole your thunder. Okay.
Yeah.
But I don't know much about dyslexia. I know what it is, but I don't think I can explain it enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so dysgraphia, like, it would be really cool in, like, a game of I Spy. Like, if someone had dysgraphia in a game of I Spy, they could probably win really good because they're very observant. And maybe you can learn stuff really quickly from your parents because you're very observant.
Oh, that is dysgraphia.
Yeah, that's dysgraphia. I'm still talking about that.
Oh, okay.
And then the writing, it's like wonky, like
I know.
off the lines and too big, too small. Sometimes very mushed together.
No finger space.
Yeah, the class.
The classic. What about dyslexia?
Okay, so first, a quiz. Quick quiz.
Okay.
What do Albert Einstein, Walt Disney, and Leonardo da Vinci have in common? Tell that in the comments. Say it in the comments. You can pause and say it in the comments. But then once you finish that, unpause. Because the answer is they're all famous and they're all dyslexic.
Wow. Big clap for your research, Manav. I'm proud of you. That's a good one, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So
a good one.
dyslexic, like dysgraphia, is really bad at writing. People like Leonardo da Vinci, Albert Einstein, Walt Disney, they kind of pronounce it the other way. Like instead of bat, they say pat. Instead of pan, they say ban.
Did they?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they would get their writing would be very wrong, like mirror, and it would affect their reading because it's like the letters are dancing, they're winky wonky.
Do you want to share we watched a movie around
Yeah,
that?
we watched a movie around that.
Do you know how to pronounce that movie? Or is it too hard for you? It's a Bollywood movie, by the way.
I think it's Tame Zer Pan.
I love you, Manav. It's Tare Zami Par.
Okay. Hope you guys can remember that. Please put it in the comments. And if you want to, you can watch it.
It's on YouTube, by the way. Yeah, it's
For free.
There is a subtitle, so Manav does not understand Hindi language.
Yet.
Yet. Okay, cool.
I don't understand it yet. I will understand it soon.
That's fine. So you will. Oh, if you do so, then you will be able to understand 3 languages: English, Nepali, and Hindi. So we watched and you read the subtitle, right?
Yeah.
It was a very good movie. It was part of your research, right?
Yeah, and like the main character, a math test. The first question was 3 times 9, right? He only did that question in the entire time of his math test, and he was like dreaming off and going, "This is Mission Impossible 3 into 9." Like Since Earth is the third planet from the sun, science time.
Yeah. So see how we giggled, right?
Yeah.
We giggled. And if you did not have awareness around the condition,
We wouldn't have giggled.
no, what I'm trying to say is if this had happened at your classroom and if someone had done similar thing, you would have giggled and made fun out of him or her as well. But now you have an awareness, so you might think, why did this guy or girl just do this? You will think twice before you make fun of them, right?
Yeah.
That's the whole idea of this conversation. I think we have shared a lot of information. Again, I'd shared this. We have drifted a little bit. It's a very tricky topic to address as well, but it is important enough for us to talk about it. And as I said during the start of our conversation, that Manish and I, we've personally been really open about mental health, neurodiversity,
Physical health.
Everybody talks about physical health. So we're not afraid of talking about unconventional talks in the family. So Manav, you're turning 9, but I think we've been talking about all this topic about depression, sadness, as per your age, whatever you'd have understood in that age category, we've always touched base on that topic. So it's not something new for you, but I think it's a bit tricky today to talk about in podcast because we don't know how much to cover or
How less to cover.
But I think I hope we've done the justice to the topic. And I really hope if this is something you had never thought or, come across in your life, I really hope this gives you some information and you would go and look up about these things and be aware and teach your children to be kind. So on that note, Manav, we wrap.
Thank you everybody for listening to our podcast. We hope you liked it, and please like, share and subscribe as it will help us grow very much. Bye, and thank you for listening to episode 9.
See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.